What is up, meal prepping fam? It's Bobby, and today we are gonna rock some tasty breakfast keto meal prepping because the other day I posted on the community section of my channel, what do you guys wanna see? And the votes were overwhelming for breakfast keto meal prep. So, you know it's gonna be big on flavor. You know it's gonna be low carb and crazy easy to make, so let's do it. Breakfast keto meal prep. My version of a sausage McMuffin sandwich with almond flour biscuits and chicken sausage patties, served with creamy chia seed pudding with coconut milk, cinnamon, and vanilla. So here's the deal. If you love straight up delicious meal prepping that is monster on flavor, click that little subscribe button because we are rocking out some of the best meal prepping on YouTube every Friday morning, and I would love for you to join the Flav City community. All right, let's get going on the low carb almond flour biscuit, just like Grandpa used to make, although I'm sure Grandpa never heard of almond flour, but that's gonna be our low carb substitute. So I have to measure out 2 cups of almond flour into my sifter here, and then push it through the sifter. You don't have to do this step if you don't have a sifter, but it will get rid of any clumps in the almond flour, and it helps your biscuits be really light and airy. Next up, going with half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of kosher salt, a few cracks of black pepper, and then shake in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then actually, most baking powders have cornstarch in them. So that's my homemade version of keto baking powder, which is 1 part baking soda to 2 parts cream of tartar. So whisk that up until everything is nice and incorporated. And then I'm gonna push the dry team aside and we'll get going on the wet team. I'm gonna crack 2 eggs into this bowl here and then add half a cup of melted grass-fed butter. I like to use the grass-fed butter because the flavor is so much better than corn-fed cows. Then whisk that up to combine. Having a hard time speaking today. It's one of those days.
As usual.
It's not as usual. Cat's got my tongue. And this, my friends, brings us to trivia question number 1. When baking, does the wet team get poured on the dry team or the dry on the wet? Click pause right now and answer below in the comments. I will wait for you. If you answered wet on dry, you are correct. The reason why is you want the wet to weigh down the dry so it doesn't fly everywhere. Scoop out all of the egg and butter mixture and then stir to combine. And by the way, you should be preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So this is what you want your dough to look like. All right, time to form the biscuits. Want to make sure I do a good job. Desi is the baker in the family and she sets very high standards. So I'm using a 1/4 cup measuring cup. Just gonna scoop out some of the dough and pack it down and slap it out. And then use your hand to flatten it to a relatively thin biscuit. We're gonna use 2 muffins per sandwich, 1 for the top and for the bottom.
Is it a muffin or is it a
biscuit? I'm in the McDonald's frame of mind. That's what happens. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. They brainwash you. That's what happens. I'm telling you.
Babe, it's not working out. I have to take it over.
Switch. If there's finesse involved, I can't do it, you guys.
Use a 1/4 cup measure and fill it almost all the way up. And then use your hands to form a patty that's about 2.5 inches in diameter. And that's how it's done, babe.
All right, let's finish up Desi's perfect biscuits with a crack of black pepper on top. And then pop them in the oven for about 15 minutes. All right, biscuits are in the oven doing their thing. We can get going on the creamy coconut chia seed pudding, the perfect make-ahead breakfast that Desi and I have been making for years. It's healthy, it's low carb, it's high protein, it's everything a growing boy needs and more. And it starts with adding 1 cup of almond milk and 1 cup of coconut milk to the bowl. Make sure it's full-fat coconut milk and unsweetened almond. Then add half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of no sugar added vanilla extract.
There's no sugar in that?
No, there's not. Look, vanilla bean extract, water, alcohol. Doubting Desi, proven wrong. Doesn't happen very often, but once in a while. A little pinch of salt to balance the sweetness.
Where's the sweetness?
Speaking of the sweetness, I have liquid stevia here. Normally I would put some agave nectar, some maple syrup, some honey in here, but we have to keep it low carb. Stevia drops are the way to go. Just add a few to start and then you can add more to your taste. I feel like a scientist. Walter White in the kitchen, right? And then mix up that bad boy and get everything nice and combined. Let me just dip my spoon in here. It's good. The cinnamon is money, but I do want a few more drops of stevia. Perfect. Okay, now these, my friends, are chia seeds. I buy them in bulk because I use them almost every morning in either my chia seed pudding or my quinoa breakfast bowl. They are high protein, high omega-3s, low net carbs. Are they Mayan or Aztecan? I forget. I think it's Aztecan, right guys? So measure out a 1/4 cup of these guys and then slowly add them in batches to the milk and then whisk really well. Once they're nice and combined, shake in some more and then keep repeating that. Don't dump them all in, otherwise they tend to clump all together. Many people have told me that it doesn't set up in the fridge. It turns loose or gets really gloppy. After I mix all the seeds in, whisk it really well, wait 10 minutes, whisk it again really well, wait 10 minutes more, and then whisk one more time, pop it in the fridge overnight, and then it'll set up really thick and luxurious. And see how the chia seeds are starting to thicken up and they've really bloomed? All right, that is exactly what you want it to look like. Now pop a lid on the container and stash it in the fridge overnight. All right, so I did this one yesterday. Let's check it out here. And this is what I'm talking about, you guys. Look at that creamy, dreamy consistency. The seeds have thickened up everything. That coconut and that almond milk are just so darn luscious. To plate this chia seed pudding, either put some in a little ramekin and then top it off with the coconut flakes and some chopped almonds. Or for the on-the-go option, put it in a mason jar, some more crunchy bits on top, and you're good to go. I never get tired of that. It's just so darn silky, perfectly sweet. If you work from home, like Desi and I, and never change out of your pajamas except when you make videos, ramekin is your option. If you get up early and go on the road, mason jar is the way to go for that one. Either way, it is a dynamite brekkie or a really good light dessert if you're on the couch streaming Jessica Jones on Netflix. This is much better than something like a brownie. All right, these are done. Let's grab the biscuits out of the oven. Perfectly golden brown. The smell of the butter and the garlic and the onion powder is literally perfuming the kitchen. These look amazing. They actually look like a snickerdoodle cookie, but they're like the furthest thing from that. All right, these are done. The last thing we have to make is our cheese-covered sausage patties and then build this meal. All right, for the chicken sausage patty, I have some chicken sausage links I got at Trader Joe's. I love using this because it's seasoned already. If you can't find it, you can buy ground chicken thighs and season it with ancho chili powder, fennel powder, smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and bam, you're done. But this is a time saver. So this is what I like to do. Cut open the sausage and then take out all the meat and then stuff it into a peanut butter lid that's been covered in plastic wrap. That allows you to form each patty very uniform and it gives a nice shape to the patty. And the nice thing about the plastic wrap is it pops right out like that. And just smooth it out.
Why don't you dip your hands in some water? Because it's sticking to your hands.
Much better actually, huh? Desi's mother-in-law's trick comes through again. Check that, wet your hands, then form the patty. And look at that, my hands are clean as a whistle and the patty is smooth and shiny like a baby's bottom. So just repeat the process with the remaining chicken sausage links. Add 2 teaspoons of avocado oil to a preheating cast iron pan over medium-high heat. You know the pan is preheated properly when they sizzle, when they go in like that. Let them go for about 3 minutes and then I'll give it a flip. That's why I love doing this in the cast iron pan. It will work in non-stick, but dude, cast iron is the way to go. Next up is my favorite part. Go ahead and drop a tablespoon or 2 of sharp cheddar cheese on top of the patties, and then drop a couple cubes of ice directly in the pan, and immediately go down with the lid. Now this brings us to trivia number 2 of the day, a 2 for you guys. Why did I do that? What's the point of putting the lid on top of that? And what's the point of the ice cubes? Leave the answer down in the comments. Hint, it's a 2-part answer. Look at that cheese, you guys. Perfectly melted. And see how it just hugs the side of the sausage patty? That is sexy brekkie grub. All right, pause the video if you haven't answered and leave it below. The reason why I dropped the ice cubes is number 1, look how evenly the cheese melted. You don't have partially melted cheddar. And number 2, that ice put a lot of moisture into the patty, so it's super duper juicy. Now, Putting these aside, when you go to like a Mickey D's and you'll have a sausage McMuffin, you pretty often have one of those like fake looking hockey pucks of eggs sitting on top of there. But I don't want fake eggs. I want real eggs, but I want them to look like the fake Mickey D's style. So this is how I do it. All you have to do is whisk 4 to 5 eggs together in a bowl, drop them in a nonstick pan, cook them for about 2 to 3 minutes until the eggs start to set just a little bit. Chuck the pan in the oven at 400 degrees for about 7 minutes, then slide the huge piece of egg disc out onto a board, then cut out egg discs using a cup. All right, less talking, more eating. Let's plate this sando. Let's grab one of these biscuits and break it in half. Perfectly moist inside, and it holds together great. Now put one of the biscuits on the bottom, upside down. Top it with one of the chicken sausage patties, one of the egg discs, and then another biscuit. And there you have it, you guys. Keto breakfast meal prepping like a boss. Click that thumbs up button if you think this is as sexy as I do. Man, I'm going in for that sandwich right now.
How is it, babe?
Insane, dude. My God. The biscuit is buttery and seasoned perfectly, and it's hearty, right? It doesn't fall apart. That egg is soft and delicious, but that cheese-covered sausage patty is banging with flavor. But guys, this is amazing. So the recipe makes enough for 3 sandwiches because the eggs will only last in the fridge for 3 days. It also makes a couple extra biscuits so you can snack on those. The chia seed pudding will make 5 servings because it'll last in the fridge all week long. You guys, the recipe is down below in the description box along with the macros, the storage, the reheating, all that good stuff. So all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, share this video, spread the love. If you want to see 2 more pretty darn epic keto recipes, they're going below me right now. But I'll see you next Friday like I always do. Until then, hashtag keep on cooking, mad love.